Good evening and welcome to News Channel 8. I'm Jerome Aegean, and here's some of the top stories we have for you tonight. An 8-year-old girl is raped, and sadly that's not all. A suspect in the Deshane Watts murder. The Boys and Girls Club are in trouble again, and Wes Small pays a visit to Williams Delight. These stories and more up next on News Channel 8. In our top story tonight, a very disturbing report of an 8-year-old girl
based on the
raped by
level
a
of damages
20-year-old
and
Antiguan
destruction
man
that
who
took place with the
recently
rains that we
entered our
received in the
territory.
last
News Channel
24
8's Wes
hours
Small has
in
that
particular.
sad story.
And I did it in
a
conjunction
breaking
with
story
Gary,
on the murder
the superintendent for the school system.
Thanks a lot, Jerome.
Also
remember that the Frederickstead Health Center is now here
just
under
to get
the
a sense
guise
of
of
what has
Herbert
taken
Grigg.
place here on the island of
A very sad story to report. We have a 20-year-old man who was charged in connection with the rape of an 8-year-old girl. It allegedly started after he was living with a family. We understand Sharmoy Stevens, trying to secure his picture, arrived here from Antigua. He was arrested on Tuesday and charged with first-degree rape, first-degree unlawful sexual contact, child abuse, and violation of the Computer Child Exploitation Prevention Act. Just a sad story. Let's go to Melody Rames, VIPD spokesperson.
Domestic Violence Bureau detectives on St. Croix arrested 20-year-old Sharmoy Stevens and charged him with the first-degree aggravated rape of an 8-year-old girl. Stevens was also charged with first-degree unlawful sexual contact, child abuse, and a violation of the Computer and Child Exploitation Prevention Act. Police said Stevens began abusing the minor soon after he arrived on St. Croix from his native island of Antigua on October 22nd. He was held on a $125,000 bail and remanded to the custody of the Golden Grove Adult Correctional Facility, pending further court action. Police Commissioner Nobel E. Francis Jr. said taking the innocence of a young child in this manner is one of the most heinous crimes that can be committed. He urged parents and guardians to be extra cautious when leaving their children in the care of others. The VI Code states that suspects charged with first-degree aggravated rape, where the perpetrators used force, intimidation, or a position of authority over a victim under the age of 16 can face between 15 years and life in prison if convicted.
Thank you very much, Melody Rames. I have to tell you that Sharmoy Stevens was really low down. He made that 8-year-old girl watch pornographic movies with him. He touched her inappropriately throughout the whole thing and made her reenact sex acts as they watched. You know, as horrendous as this information is, I think it needs to be put out to the community. You know, stateside, they snatch our children off the streets, you know, literally right inside supermarkets. But here, we don't have that. Here, it's family members and friends that you think that you can trust. Please, people, please be careful who you have guarding your children. One thing I could tell you is that the bail for Sharmoy Stevens is $125,000. He will be arraigned sometime in December. So that is that story. Now we have a breaking story for you. Marlon Williams has just been charged with a second homicide. Remember that he was along with Jamal Lopez off of the Melvin Evans Highway and that shootout, right, with the VIPD. Now, they said that Marlon Williams
we're going to continue to assess all
directly attributed to Jamal Lopez's death. Well,
of the
that's not all. Remember how we told you about the murder of Deshane Watts in Estate Grove. Now, the investigators of the VIPD have tied the Deshane Watts murder into Marlon Williams. Now, Marlon Williams has been rearrested in Golden Grove. Let's go to Melody Rames, VIPD spokesperson.
Major Crime Bureau detectives arrested 22-year-old Marlon Williams and charged him with first-degree murder in connection with the shooting death of 20-year-old Deshane Watts. The arrest was based on a warrant issued by Judge Julio Brady. Watts was killed in Estate Grove Place at about 7:45 p.m. on Friday, October 9th. Police were dispatched to a call of shots fired, and when they arrived in the area, they observed a black vehicle with multiple bullet holes in it. Police were advised that a gunshot victim had been taken to the Governor Juan F. Louis Hospital by private vehicle where he later died. Williams, who is originally from St. Kitts, was arrested at the Golden Grove Adult Correctional Facility, where he is presently being held on prior charges of first-degree murder in connection with the shooting death of 24-year-old Jamal Lopez on October 10th. Williams and Lopez were involved in a shootout with police on Hope Road at about 2:30 a.m. on October 10th. Lopez was shot and killed by police officers during the shootout, and Williams was injured by gunfire. However, according to VI law, suspects involved in felonies in which there is a resulting death can be charged with murder. Williams was placed on a $1 million bail and returned to the custody of the correctional facility.
A lot of breaking stories to report on today, to be sure. Now, last but not least, you might be getting text messages about gang initiations. I talked to Deputy Police Chief Hal. Here's what's going on with that. In the text message, it says that if you're traveling at night along our roads, that if you see a car that does not have its lights on, the first thing comes to your mind is to give them a blink, a signal, hey, you forgot to put on your lights. We're saying now that this is part of some gang initiation ritual, that these same guys will follow you, possibly rob you, shoot your car up, I don't know. But when I talked to Deputy Police Chief Hal, he said these are pretty much rumors and speculation. Also, a fact about keychains. You might have heard about that. The giving away of keychains in gas stations, and after that, they're supposedly track down your vehicle. I talked to Deputy Police Chief Hal. He doesn't put much into that either. That sounds like some type of high-tech embedded signal code that's inside of these key rings to track down your car. I don't know. But one thing we do know, you need to keep your eyes open and your head up. Do not put it past these lowdowns out there to have a gang initiation of some time. With that, yeah, you're caught up on a lot. We have Shamoy Stevens. How could he do that to that 8-year-old girl? Now Marlon Williams, charged not once but twice for the death of Jamal Lopez and Deshane Watts from Grove. And watch yourselves. Keep your heads up. At Ann Schrader Command, I'm Wes Small for News Channel 8.
And in other news, a Williams Delight man has lost almost everything in that recent storm that ravaged our territory. News Channel 8's Wes Small files this report.
Thanks a lot, Jerome. Despite what some people say on the talk shows, I am in Williams Delight after the flood. It's amazing how some people put rumors and propaganda out into the community that the governor could actually tell this reporter what story to do or what community to go to. That's okay. You know, the haters are going to be haters. Right. I'm here now with Mr. Bruno Baker. We are in Williams Delight, and he is right next to the highway. We are going to show you what this poor man has been living with. Also, some pictures during the storm and right after the storm. And it's amazing that no one got hurt. Now, before we get started, you are here with your son. Your wife is off island. Yeah. Tell us your story. Look at all these wet things here, and what's going on?
I got this. Oh, okay, you got this. Well, what happened, suddenly the flood just came from both sides of my house, from the east side. One on that side there and one to the highway. And I just get covered like a tsunami just covered me up. So I couldn't do save anything.
Okay. You want to talk about the infrastructure, because Mother Nature is going to do its thing.
Okay.
But what is your complaint about the infrastructure coming from the Melvin Evans?
Well, what happened, the road was blocked, as most people knows that the highway was blocked for a long time.
And a lot of people couldn't even get into Williams Delight, could they?
Exactly, right.
Yeah, go ahead.
So right now I had all my equipment, everything was underwater. My truck was full all the way up to the glass, to the windshield. All of the cars, everything was flooded. My Lincoln Navigator was underwater. My backhoe, everything was completely underwater. So water gets all to the fuel tanks, the engines, and everything. And the total thing is damaged by the storm.
Well, now we're going to see what's going on in the inside. Folks, man, West the Best Words can't deal with this one. Sir, all I could say is, man, wow. Mother Nature is something else. How do you want to wrap this up? Are you insured?
No, I'm not insured like my, I believe the bank have insurance. I don't know because I talked to them and they say, well.
Your house is destroyed.
Destroyed, yeah, completely.
And where
Everything
do you sleep?
was, I sleep upstairs. I have a little thing upstairs. It's not complete, but that's where I had to go.
Now, you said your wife is off island.
Yeah, my wife and the kids are off island.
And when she comes back, where does she have a home?
No, we don't have no home. That's the only home we have. That's all we have.
Well, sir, all I could say is I'm glad I came back to Williams Delight, and I'm so sorry. I mean, I don't know who you can blame in this other than Mother Nature, because you saw what happened that day.
Yep.
And you've seen some pictures that he's given us of the water. Look at that. He's lucky to be alive.
Yep.
And
the water was level to the window, as you can see, all the debris and everything. So I couldn't do anything else but save myself and my boy. And there was a girlfriend for my boy. So
you know, you should, y'all should be very happy, because
thank God.
Unfortunately, Rita Hamilton lost her life, and there'll be a tribute for that this weekend with Yucca. I'm so happy that the casualties weren't anymore, and I'm glad you're alive, sir, because this was bad. In Williams Delight, his name is Bruno Baker, and man, did he take a licking from Mother Nature. I'm Wes Small for News Channel 8.
Thanks, Wes. And the Virgin Islands has lost one of its oldest living persons in the Virgin Islands at the age of 103. News Channel 8's Lee Carl files this report from St. Thomas.
Ethel Joshua looks back on 100 years of life here in St. Thomas. She recently passed away. She was living at Ebenezer Gardens, and one woman, 1 century, plenty to celebrate. In doubt, this is our tribute to her. Relatives called me to say they would like me to mention that she, like others in the Caribbean, we went St. Lucia, I believe, 105 years old, over in St. Croix, another 104-year-old. She recently passed away, but right up until the time she passed away, she was active. She could touch her toes. She could cook. She was very into the type of food that you should eat, and apparently that may be why she lasted that long. Born July 10th, 1907, a lifelong St. Thomas resident. She never left St. Thomas, by the way. Friends and family gathered, hymns, poems, prayers, tribute to her long life, and a happy birthday, of course. She was living at Ebenezer Gardens facility here in St. Thomas. On longevity, she said, all I can say is you try your best. She said, you treat your body right. We all should be good and kind to each other. I tried my best, and I couldn't do more. Congratulations, well, I should say condolences, the passing of Ethel Joshua, 100 years, but she lives on in a legacy to the family and also what she has seen here in the Virgin Islands of St. Thomas during Danish times and then the American times. In St. Thomas, Lee Carl for News Channel 8.
Thanks, Lee Carl. She will be a loss to our community and our islands. And when we come back from this break, the Boys and Girls Club are in trouble again. Stay with us.